fascinated by what happens when a body moves in the frame. You know, I come to this sort of workshop with this desire to share knowledge and to, you know, to try and articulate some of the experiences and thoughts that I've had about this particular medium. But what always strikes me is how quickly it can turn into a new exploration for me as well, you know, because you get the opportunity not only to revisit your own work, people are coming with their own experiences and questions. And I think it's, for me, really fascinating to see how that kind of combines, and we try and kind of move everything on a step.
My name is Rachel Shaw, and I first got interested in screen dance taking Ellen Bromberg's class at the University of Utah, her screen dance class. Originally, I was really interested in timing, and so I was really interested in the editing process. Now I'm a lot more interested in the shooting, actually.
You're the camera operator.
Okay,
I'm the camera. So I open and close to edit. And
Both of us
dancers.
We did an exercise where the camera person and the dancer would try and make a in-camera edit using the person. And that was really interesting to me because I'd never done that before.
It's just a good practice to be thinking about what shot is as you pick up the camera, and obviously we're doing it in a group, so it's a kind of shared experience of doing that. But what I think is interesting is how long you can actually sustain something and it's working, and what does it mean by working? Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? And that, so that movement all works, and it still sort of works. So sometimes it seems to be when the camera's moving against the movement, isn't it? Up, and the movement's coming down or down. Other times it's when something kind of surprising happens in the frame, something sort of enters, isn't it? Or exits. I have had this sense that people are looking for a kind of key to unlock it, for me to say, well, you know, if somebody slides to the ground, then you should film it from left to right on a track, you know, at this kind of size. And I kind of think, well, to a certain extent, you can say that. And I think we started this week to try and unpack, you know, what it is that makes us go, oh, when we see a particular shot. And what is it that kind of, what is it that invokes that? What is it in terms of the actual shape of the frame and how things are moving through it, and I think you can analyse it, and there is also, you know, in painting and so on, and photography, there are traditional rules about, you know, dividing the screen into three and all these things, but for me it's like that is your personal aesthetic as well. So in a sense you have to evolve that yourself. You actually have to go through the practice of looking at things through the lens, looking at movement through the lens. And it's not something that anybody else can tell you because you will have a different aesthetic. So it's been, I think it's been a really productive week in that sense. I feel like we've all kind of shifted in our perspective on things and on screen dance and on process.
When we started really looking at improvisation and improvisational scores in Katrina's workshop, I started to be a lot more interested in the movement and what was happening, and I started feeling embodied while I was shooting. And as I was writing down ideas for the structured improv, I knew that I wanted the sound to come out of it. I thought, okay, well, the scratching sound has something to do kind of with the beach. That rough grittiness maybe is what I was thinking. And so I decided that there should be two different ways of interacting with, like, being at the ocean. One being the running and playing aspect mixed with this lighter, just kind of floating in the water or basking in the sun feel. It could be really fun for me to, as I'm filming, to pretend like I was waves or seagulls, to be a part of that as well. I thought Katrina was great. She was so humble and so open, just so generous with her time and her knowledge and just with herself as a person. She seemed genuinely interested in people and what they had to say and in questions that people had, which I'm sure she's heard a lot of these questions 1,000 times. And then the way that she led the workshop, I thought was really nice. She would always come in with a plan, but then she would always ask us what we were interested in and what we thought we would need or how much time we thought we would need. So even though she was leading the workshop, it felt very much like she was so open to whatever we had to say. She didn't have, even though she had a plan, she didn't have an agenda. And that was what I thought was really just fantastic about having her.